Angel Reese's WNBA future just took a wild turn, and if you thought her rookie season had enough drama, think again. Things are about to get even crazier. ESPN just leaked some major news about what's ahead for Ree, and trust me, this is not the outcome anyone was expecting. She came into the league with big energy, confidence, and serious talent, but now her future is being questioned, and the spotlight has never been hotter. For months, basketball fans have been glued to the rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It's like the WNBA's version of a blockbuster showdown, two young stars with massive potential. But now ESPN's latest report has added another twist to the story. Reese, who has never been shy about speaking her mind, now faces the biggest challenge of her career. Will she rise above the doubts and silence the critics, or is her WNBA dream starting to unravel just when it seemed like Reese was ready to solidify her place as a top star? This news drops, and it's shaking up the basketball world. There are questions about her performance, her leadership, and even her role in growing the league. Can she prove everyone wrong, or is the hype starting to fade? But before we dive into the juicy details, do yourself a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss what happens next, because ESPN's revelations could change everything you thought you knew about Angel Reese. Get ready for some serious surprises. Let's set the scene. Angel Reese entered the WNBA with undeniable swagger and confidence, averaging 11-11. 5 points and 9.2 rebounds per game in a rookie season. Her stats might seem solid at first glance. It's not a headline-grabbing performance, but still respectable. These numbers suggest a player who's contributing and putting in the work. But when you take a closer look, the shine starts to fade. Yes, she was on the court adding to the stat sheet, but there's a big difference between filling up the numbers and truly impacting the game.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing she should focus on is just finishing around the rim. That is something where maybe her rebounds will be halved. However, she will still make such an impact.
Now, let's get into her shooting. This is where things take a turn for someone spending so much time near the basket. Shooting just 39% from the field is concerning. It hints at inconsistency, inefficiency, and missed chances in the WNBA, where even small margins can decide a game. Those missed shots add up quickly.
Angel Reese shot 39% from the field, and she took 90% of her shots from inside 8 feet.
For a player like Reese, who plays close to the rim, you'd expect her field goal percentage to be higher. Most players in that position are either laying it up or dunking shots you'd expect to go in more often than not. But that wasn't the case for Reese. Too often she missed shots that should have been easy finishes, and here's where it gets tricky compared to someone like Caitlin Clark, who's consistently nailing three-pointers from deep with better shooting efficiency. Reese's struggles under the basket become more glaring when Clark is out there making deep shots look effortless and maintaining a higher shooting percentage. It raises a big question: what's going wrong for Reese? Let's be clear, everyone misses shots. Basketball isn't a game of perfection, but in Reese's case, it wasn't just about a few missed shots here and there. It became the recurring issue, especially in clutch moments when her team needed her to step up. Sure, to her credit, she often grabbed her own rebounds after those misses, but there's something awkward about that. How much hustle does it show if you're cleaning up your own missed shots? Is that determination, or does it point to inefficiency? Critics started looking at her rebounding stats more closely, and what they found raised some eyebrows. Yes, she led all rookies with 9.2 rebounds per game, which seems impressive at first, but dig a little deeper, and you realize a good chunk of those rebounds came from her own missed shots. Essentially, she was padding her stats by playing a game of fetch with her. The double-doubles looked great on paper, but were they really contributing to the team's success? Double-doubles are usually seen as a sign of dominance, especially for frontcourt players. A player consistently putting up double-digit points and rebounds is typically someone who's controlling the paint and making a significant impact. But in Reese's case, those double-doubles didn't always translate into game-changing performances. Critics pointed out that while her numbers looked solid, they didn't necessarily barely mean she was turning the tide of the game.
Reese with another rebound, making 18 rebounds. Remember, she's got back-to-back with 20 rebounds. Looking, pursuing. Once again, Reese with the tip, another chance. Reese trying to put it back.
ESPN analysts had a field day with this. The idea of Reese self-rebounding became a running joke. Angel Reese, the player who pads her own stats by grabbing her own missed shots. It's a harsh critique, but one that caught on as more people started questioning the real value behind her numbers. While fans celebrated her double-doubles, the experts weren't so convinced. They weren't asking how many rebounds she grabbed, they wanted to know how many were off her own missed shots. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was out there putting up triple-doubles with clinical precision. Clark's performances were efficient, impactful, and most importantly led to wins. When you compared Clark's numbers to Reese's, the difference was stark. Clark was leading her team, hitting clutch shots, and carrying herself with quiet confidence. Reese, on the other hand, seemed to miss key opportunities, and in the eyes of many fell short and crucial moments. This leads to one of Reese's biggest issues. When the pressure was on, she didn't always rise to the occasion in high-stakes games when her team needed her to deliver. Reese often faltered. These moments define players, especially early in their careers. While regular season games matter, it's the big games, the ones that draw national attention or playoff implication, that leave lasting impressions. And in those moments, Reese struggled. Despite all this, her confidence never seemed to waver. Even as her game was being questioned, Reese maintained a bold self-assurance. She embraced her role as the outspoken rookie, claiming she was the reason fans were tuning into WNBA games. She wasn't just another player, she was the main event, or so she believed. But the reality told a different story.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
When Reese was sidelined with a wrist injury, something unexpected happened. Attendance actually went up. That's right, while Reese sat on the bench, WNBA fans kept showing up, and sometimes in even larger numbers. It was a strange twist for someone who had claimed to be the league's biggest draw. You'd expect attendance to drop without one of the league's top personalities on the court, but instead it spiked.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese.
For example, during a game against the Connecticut Sun on August 17th, with Reese sitting out, attendance climbed to 9,311 per increase over the previous home game. This raised an uncomfortable question: were fans really coming to see Reese, or was her star power overestimated? Contrast that with what happened when Caitlin Clark missed games. The impact was immediate. Attendance dipped and TV ratings dropped. Fans clearly noticed her absence. In one game in late August, TV ratings fell by 18%. When Clark didn't play, the difference was obvious. When Clark wasn't on the court, people felt it. When Reese wasn't playing, the show went on as usual. This comparison painted Reese in an unflattering light. Her narrative of being the main reason fans were tuning in was starting to unravel. The media ran with this storyline, and soon the conversation shifted. Was Reese's confidence premature? Her rookie season hadn't lived up to the hype, and even attendance numbers weren't backing her claims.
Angel Reese, playing for a team that went 13-27, missed the playoffs, and their coach got fired. And she missed the last 6 games of the season with an injury. Caitlin Clark plays all 40 games, leads the Indiana Fever to their best record since 2015, leads the league in assists, puts up almost 20 points a game.
The constant comparisons between Reese and Clark have been tough for Reese, and they haven't done her any favors. Clark has quickly become a fan favorite, putting up historic numbers, leading her team to wins, and doing it all with a quiet grace that contrasts sharply with Reese's bold persona. Reese, on the other hand, is missing key moments, and for many not living up to her own talk. Reese's challenge going into her sophomore season is clear. She needs to elevate her game. The hype surrounding her won't be enough if she can't deliver on the court. The WNBA is growing fast, and with that growth comes a focus on marketability and star power. Reese came into the league with a lot of buzz, but if she doesn't start producing, that buzz will quickly fade. The rivalry between Reese and Clark, which had the potential to be a great motivator for both players, has so far been one-sided in Clark's favor. Clark has become a household name almost overnight, breaking records, leading her team, and earning the media's praise. Reese, while talented, has had flashes of brilliance but hasn't been consistent.
Angel Reese is the villain, Caitlin Clark is the hero, and Angel Reese continued to play into it last night by getting ejected, and it's almost like it's all scripted. This is perfect for the WNBA. She's all the talk. She's the one standing up there in front of reporters saying, I need all of you guys to realize there's 2 of us that changed the game of women's basketball, and it's not just Caitlin Clark. I was a part of that 2 years ago in the national championship game, and it's going to continue to be that way from here on out. I kind of love it. I don't agree with her. It's way more Caitlin Clark than it is Angel Reese, but I like the fact that she's willing now to play more of the villain, and then she gets herself tossed from the game.
The game fans have noticed too, and the divide has been STK. Reese has leaned into the villain role, embracing the idea that she's the player people love to hate, but Here's the thing, playing the villain only works if you're winning. If you're going to play that role, you need to dominate. LeBron James, for example, has faced criticism throughout his career, but he silences his doubters by consistently performing at an elite level. Rays right now isn't delivering that kind of performance. Instead, her attempts to play the villain often feel forced and desperate. She's taken shots at Clark, but they haven't landed because Clark is too busy breaking records to even respond. While Clark has taken a work-focused, drama-free approach to her rise in the league, Reese has been caught up in trying to control the narrative.